Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Bland. I would like to talk to you today about 7 things that you need to know before considering attending a coding boot camp. I attended a coding boot camp in early 2015, and what I want to share with you is my firsthand experience from attending a coding boot camp. The first thing that I think that you need to know is, 1, do you actually enjoy programming? Programming is not for everyone. I love to program. Both of my sisters hate programming and would not want to attend a coding boot camp. You can find out if you're interested in programming by looking at a lot of the free resources that are out there on the web that you can use to start learning how to program. If you don't know where to start, 2 things that I would recommend learning how to program would be to start with HTML and CSS and possibly also JavaScript. Those will give you an idea of whether or not you actually enjoy programming. There are free websites out there to learn this. You can learn from Udemy, you can learn from Udacity, you can learn from Free Code Camp. Those are all great resources that you can use to start learning to see if you actually enjoy programming. Number 2, what are the time requirements to actually complete a coding boot camp? Is it something that's going to be a full-time basis, or is it something that's going to be a part-time basis? Is it something that you can do in the evenings, or is it something that's going to be done during the day? Is it something that's going to take 3 months to complete? Is it something that's going to take 6 months to complete? You need to know, because you're going to actually, if it's a full-time immersive program, you're going to be putting your life on hold during that time frame that it takes to complete the coding boot camp. So you need to know how long it's going to take and what are the time requirements are while you're actually attending the coding boot camps. Some of the boot camps I've seen actually only go from 9 to 5 or maybe 9 to 6 p.m. in the evening, and then you have all evening free at home to do whatever you want. I've seen other coding boot camps that went from 8 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. I've seen coding boot camps that go Monday through Friday, and I've seen some that went from 6 days a week, so you only had 1 day a week, Sunday, free to yourself. Number 3, what will you actually learn in a coding boot camp? There are many different technology stacks that are out there. Some of the most common front-end programming languages that are out there are Angular, AngularJS, React, of course, straight HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. On the back end, you can look at, if you were going straight JavaScript all the way through, you would be learning Node.js. Some of the other things on the back end, you might be using Ruby on Rails or PHP, instead. So what you want to do is to find out what tech stacks that the coding bootcamp actually learns. If you want to learn Ruby on Rails, don't go to a coding bootcamp that teaches JavaScript. On the other hand, if the bootcamp teaches JavaScript and you want to learn Ruby on Rails, this is probably not exactly the one that you want to attend. Number 4, the quality of programmers that this coding bootcamp produces. All coding bootcamps are a short amount of time where you're basically learning a large amount of programming concepts in that time frame. What you want to do is to look at how well do these people coming out of the coding boot camps actually learn the material that they're being taught. And one way that you can always judge how well is the quality of the programmers that they produce is at the end of every coding boot camp, students produce what's called their thesis project. A thesis project is what they're going to show to potential employers to demonstrate their skill sets and what they've learned in that coding boot camp. What you want to do is to look at these projects, and you can find them online. Most coding boot camps will include links to the projects that the students have created. You can go to YouTube and you can actually see the presentation of the projects that they've created and look at them and look at the projects that are created in a boot camp versus another boot camp, and you will see some projects are just better than other projects. What you want to do is basically align yourself with a boot camp it produces better quality projects from their students. That shows you that the students are learning a little bit better than they are at another competing boot camp. Number 5, who are the teachers? This kind of goes hand in hand with the quality of the programmers that the coding boot camp produces, in that when you look at who are the teachers, are they somebody that has years of coding experience? Or is it some student that just graduated from the cohort prior to yours, that they finished the material, they've never worked a day in their life as a programmer at a company, but the boot camp hires them to come in and actually teach the next students that are coming in the next class behind them? Do you want somebody that has a lot of years of experience teaching you, or do you want somebody that has 0 years of experience teaching you? So find out some information about the teachers that are teaching at the coding boot camp, because it will determine how well you learn the material that's in the coding boot camp. Number 6 is, how well does the coding boot camp actually assist you in getting a job after graduation? The better boot camps will actually make an effort to reach out to potential employers in the city and will bring them in usually the last week of the boot camp to see the projects that the students have completed and have the opportunity to talk to the students and to interview them for a potential job working for that company. If a boot camp is interested in assisting their students in getting a job after graduation, they will actually make an effort to do this. I've seen other boot camps in which they don't make an effort to bring potential employers to come in and talk to the students. They just assume it's all your responsibility after you graduate to find a job. I've had some students that have graduated from coding boot camps in which the boot camp says it's not their job to help you get a job. And then that brings me to the last thing, the 7th thing that I think that you need to know as a graduate before attending a coding boot camp is, what percentage of students get a job within 3 months of graduation? If you're taking the time out of your life for the 3 months, the 4 months, the 6 months that it takes to complete a coding boot camp, you want to make sure that you're going to actually get a job in the coding profession after you graduate. Most coding boot camps will produce a standard that say what percentage of their students will get a job within 3 months or maybe even 6 months after graduation. Some coding boot camps produce standards that say, 99% of our students get a job within 3 months. That's just total BS. That assumes that every student that graduates from that class gets a job within 3 months. And I have never seen a coding boot camp in which that has been a reality. Instead, look at what they produce. They say that students get a job. And then actually, if their percentage that they produce is a figure that's been given by a audited third party, that has more value to you than something that a boot camp produces on their own based on some standards that they don't make available to anybody else that's out there. So those are the 7 things that I think you need to know before considering a coding boot camp. And just to recap, number 1, do you enjoy programming? Number 2, what are the time requirements to actually complete that coding boot camp? Number 3, what will I actually learn in that coding boot camp? Number 4, what are the quality of programmers that this coding boot camp produces? Number 5, who are the teachers? Number 6, how much does the coding boot camp assist you in getting a job after graduation? And number 7, what percentage of students actually get a job as a programmer within 3 months after graduation from the coding boot camp? Hopefully that information helps you out. This is things that I learned from my firsthand experience from attending a coding boot camp in 2015. If you have any more questions, or if you have any questions you want to ask about it, or you want to learn more about coding boot camps and programming in general, Please check out my website, which is my name, JenniferBland, BLAND.com. Thank you very much for watching.